Welcome to the Welk Homestead State Historic Site. Ludwig and Christina Schwan Welk homesteaded 160 acres here in 1894. In 1902, they purchased an additional 80 acres. They were Germans whose ancestors came from the Alsace region, now in France, to the area outside Odessa, Russia, in 1803 at the invitation of Tsar Alexander I, Catherine the Great's grandson. During their residence in Russia, they were allowed to keep their language, customs, and religion. As a group, they are known as Germans from Russia. When Ludwig and Christina built their home near Strasburg, the summer kitchen, located across from the house, was used for cooking to help keep the main house cool. With hot stoves and cooking, canning, and the feeding of a large family, not to mention farm workers, the house stayed much cooler, making for a pleasant evening at the end of a hot summer day. This is the second house built on the site and is approximately 20 feet by 40 feet. It was built in 1899. Ludwig and his brother Johannes, who was newly arrived in the U.S., made the mud bricks, also known as batza, to build the house. Batza bricks were made by putting the mud-clay mixture into a wooden box and letting them sun dry. Sometimes the mud-clay mixture included grass, straw, or manure. Air pockets in the brick would help insulate the house from the winter cold and the summer heat. Ludwig, Christina, and their 8 children lived in the house. Entry to the upstairs was by the outside staircase, which faces the northwest. Ludwig and Christina's 4 boys would have slept upstairs in a bedroom on the southeast side of the house. There is a grate above the stove in the far room downstairs that allowed heat to go upstairs. The rest of the upstairs was used for storage and possibly to hang sausage and other meats to cure during the winter months. The farm passed to the youngest son, Michael, in 1928 and was occupied by his family until 1963. After several years of neglect, it was restored to its present condition in 1991. Ludwig was a farmer and a blacksmith. Ludwig and his neighbors had a community, much as they had in Russia. In Russia, everyone lived in a village and went outside the village to tend their farms. Here in the U.S., they had to live on their farms, homesteads, but came together frequently to help each other with some of the heavier farm work, like haying and harvesting, as well as celebrations of birth, marriages, and to share the grief of death. Ludwig was also known as a musician and would play for weddings in the southern part of Emmons County. A prosperous homestead would need a protected place to store the grain until it could be sold or used. The granary fulfilled this purpose. The building is used as a gathering place and exhibit space today. This portion of the building was added on to the granary. This end of the building was used to separate the grain by size. Hash marks on the wall indicate grain sold to different individuals. You will notice there are no names by the hash marks. Everyone knew their place on the wall. This barn was moved to the site by Michael, youngest son of Ludwig and Christina. Michael inherited the farm, a tradition in German-Russian families that the youngest son would inherit the property and also take care of his parents. This barn is bigger than the one Ludwig and Christina had. Notice the stanchions used for milk cows, the gutter to contain the manure and make for easier cleanup, the wooden floors for the horses, and the scratching post where a cat sharpened its claws. Michael and his family sold cream and eggs to the local folks.